So welcome to the Friday Live, and today's subject is going to be the flamenco guitar. All right. Hello, Thomas. Welcome. Hello, Luxic. Where are you from, Luxic? Are you Brazilian or are you from abroad? All right. Floripa Bengals is also here with us. So waiting for you guys to join in. And today's subject is going to be the flamenco guitar. All right. Just making sure that everything is good and going. Hello from Amsterdam. Masta Music is here with us. Let me bring this camera down a little bit. All right. So guys, the flamenco guitar has been one of my greatest influences. When I first heard the music of Paco de Lucia, I was definitely brought in to that beautiful art. And basically what I like to do, hello Vitor Carrara, good friend. So when I first heard that music, I was really brought in by the technique and the strength from that music. So I'd like to bring in some of these techniques for you guys today so that you guys can use these techniques on your own, the way that you would like to, okay? So I'm gonna start by just doing a groove of the famous style called Bulerias. So the Bulerias is a 12-bar rhythm that, like most flamenco beats, most flamenco palos, it uses the Phrygian mode. So we got this, lower the camera more, even more. Do I need to lower the camera even more? There it is. Okay, so here we go. So basically the Buleria is this compa that I just played, and some of the techniques that I'm using here. Basically the first coolest technique of flamenco, I believe, and most unique is the Rasguel or Rasgato. So what is the Rasguel? Basically the Rasguel, there's many kinds, and we're going to spend a little bit of time talking about it, okay? So the Rasguel, the most basic Rasguel uses 3 fingers, and you start by A and then M-I. And there's this technique here which we call lock. You lock the finger. You don't have to do it every time, but if you lock the finger with the thumb, you're gonna get a greater attack. So I'm gonna have an A Phrygian here, and I'm gonna get myself, and then I'm going to do the locking. And the way that you practice the Rasguel is by releasing each finger at a time. Like that. The Rasguel, it can be done in three attacks, like that, or 4. If you do 4, you go back up with finger I, like this, as such. Then it becomes a cycle. Okay. Now, the Rasguel, when you put it up to beat, let's say I'm going to transform the Buleria into a simple by 4 feel. Like this, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1. Because essentially that's what it is. You have this 12 bar beat, and we're gonna take it into parts of 3. The most basic way that you play the Buleria is by doing downbeats with 1 finger, and the upbeat with this legato note on the flat 9 of A, like this. That beat going, you can apply the rasgado. The first way that you do here is very important. The last finger, ta ta ta, is where the beat may fall. You can do it 2 different ways. You can do the first finger being on the beat like this. See? I'm putting this on the downbeat, and this happens after the beat. Or you can do the opposite. You can do these 2 notes as pickup notes, and this one being the downbeat, like this. Okay, so I would like you guys to practice this way. The second way is the most common way, where the 2 first fingers are pickup notes to the downbeat, which is the last one. So we have this. Ta 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 ta. So we practice this. That's the first thing about flamenco and buleria that you can practice. Very useful technique, because you can use these techniques when you're not only playing flamenco. You don't have to be playing pure, specifically flamenco. You can just be playing music. And you can import these techniques, and that's the point of today's lesson. I would like to take just an overall look. Flamenco is a very deep, very big style. There's a lot of theory, a lot of culture involved, and it would be impossible to cover it all in detail in just 1 hour. But I'm going to give you just an overpass, an overlook in most of the most common palos and the most common techniques. And then you just take these and you do whatever you like, okay? So again, the same exercise. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay. Now let's do a little more difficult thing. We're gonna do a sequence of 3 rasgueos, including the upstroke, like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. And that allows you to do a cycle. Okay, I'm going to do a little slower, and I'm going to apply it towards the end of the measure so that you can see that cycle being applied and then resolving back to 1, like this. Is ta 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 ta, and then the I finger may do this to compensate if you want. If you need to just fill in a few more beats, a few more strikes, you can just use finger 1 up and down like that. Okay, that's one little flamenco secret there for you guys. Feel welcome to write questions. Okay, guys. Now let's talk about this specific buleria beat. This is a mystery for many people, and I've learned this by just constant listening. Just like any language, you have to listen to in order to learn. And flamenco has, the buleria has a specific sequence of accents. The way that they count, and I might as well just go ahead and show you the universal way of counting flamenco. It's a little confusing at first, but it is the way that you will be understood internationally if you ever go more profoundly into this style and you ever play for a dancer, for a bailaora as they call it, then you want to speak the same language as her. And that, for that reason, it's better to learn how to count correctly. And the way that they count starts on 12. So you need to learn how to do this. 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And then the accents are going to go on 3, 12, of course, which is number 1, and then 3, and then 6, 8, and 10. And it is on 10 that the remate takes place. The remate is the closure of the phrase. So again, 12, 3, 6, 8, 10. And those beats, I'm going to put a rasguel to accent them like this. 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Or might as well just put the rasguel on 8 and 10, which are the ones that do the closure. So I'm going to have 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's beginning to sound more like a buleria. This is the very good exercise for you guys who are getting started with this style, okay? Again, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay? Remember, guys, that this video stays up, so you guys are welcome to look back at it after the live is over. So if you don't quite catch something right now, you can come back to it later, okay? I'm going to repeat it one more time, slowly. Sometimes I get comments that I go too fast, so I'm trying to attend to those comments. A mosquito just bit me here on my wrist, so don't mind me itching. So I'm going to do this very slowly in respect to those who have commented that I go too fast. Again, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And it feels like this. 12. And then the next step is the change chord. And the chord change always happens on 3. Okay? So also about Flamenco Harmony, that's something that we can get into here real quick. It uses the same harmonized scale from the natural mode, except the cadences always resolve onto the Phrygian degree, which is the 3rd degree. In Phrygian major, actually. So you take a Phrygian scale and make it major. So then you're talking about the 5th mode of the harmonic minor. So the 2nd degree, if this is Phrygian, the 2nd degree would be Lydian right here. What is a Lydian chord? A Lydian chord is a major 7 chord with a sharp 11. Or like this. Okay? So that's the chord that dialogues with the Phrygian. Every time you got Phrygian, Lydian. Phrygian, Lydian. That's the main dialogue from the flamenco. In this Lydian chord right here, you may play it with an open string, G, which is the 6th. That's very beautiful. Okay, so I'm gonna change to the on the 3rd beat to B flat, and then on the 10th, the remate back to A, and it's gonna really start sounding like a buleria. If you put any recording, buleria, Paco de Lucia, Gerardo Núñez, Tomatito, Vicente Amigo, all these guys. Nowadays you have Jerónimo Maya and Diego del Moral. Moraito, of course, who's Diego del Moral's father. All these names, they all will play this exactly as I'm telling you. So here we go. 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. G minor. Okay, so let's go on with this. The G minor here would represent your your Dorian mode, which happens to be just behind the Phrygian, right? Dorian, Phrygian. So this requires you to know some basic harmony. And what I'm talking about is your regular natural harmonized scale. Go to Google and type up natural harmonized scale. And it's going to show up the 7 degrees of a natural harmonized scale, which are from C. Ionian, Dorian, Phrygian, Lydian, Mixolydian, Aeolian, and Locrian. Back to 1. Okay? So that's basics of harmony, and you definitely need to know that to play whatever, jazz, Brazilian music, flamenco. Okay, so this is something you need to know. All right, let's go for more tools here. The second technique I would like to show you, after having showed you the rasgueo, is the low golpe. Golpe in Spanish means hit, means sort of like punch. And you're going to use this. This is one of the coolest tools from flamenco that you can import into other styles of music. You can take this to your own compositions if you want. The golpe is this. It's a low hump. And if you put a condenser mic very hot in front of the guitar and you do this, it should go boom. Very nice. And you can see Paco playing. I studied his playing for many years, and I always wondered that when I was much younger, how he got that sound, boom, boom. It seemed like there was a percussionist playing with him, but there wasn't. It's just doing this, okay? So you're going to incorporate this into the playing, and I'm going to teach it along with another technique also. This technique right here, doing the up beat, always pulling up finger one, is one of the greatest characteristics of the Buleria style and of flamenco itself, but especially comes out in the Buleria style. And this comes from what they call the lap harp or the lap sitar. The lap sitar is an instrument that was very popular in the Middle East. So it's a Middle Eastern instrument where the guy puts this big wooden thing on his lap with many strings, and he holds these two little sticks, and then he hits these sticks and he makes music. But normally, the way that they play this, the left hand does a pedal note, which means a constant repeating note, as the other one does the melody. So you have this kind of effect here, like Asturias. Right? The pedal note is this, and it's always upbeat. Ba, 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 ba. So in order to play flamenco, you have to have a very sharp rhythmic awareness to know where the downbeats and the upbeats are. So here in the Buleria, as you develop your rhythm, you're going to be doing this on the upbeats. 12, 1, 2, 3, 4. And this is the next exercise I would like to invite you to do. Downbeats, the accents, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You can do a rasgueo in the remate, 10. And then start again. 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. But then what you do is you hold the chord, and for every beat, you're going to do the upstroke. 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So let's do, hello, Julian Alonso is here with us. Hello from Canada. All right, guys. Guitar Kurt is here. So you go back to the root or Phrygian dominant chord in 10. Exactly. On beat 10, you go back to the root of the Phrygian dominant. All right. I'm glad to see you guys are here with me and participating. So basically, this is how it goes. Now, one step further. This is going to get harder and harder, but let's not see it that way. More and more fun. The next technique I'd like to show you is doing the golpe. This is challenging for most people, but it's very useful. It is one of the greatest secrets from Paco's style. You have to study how to do the golpe along with a downstroke. So then your hand is going to function this way. Bah! It's like a person walking, you see? As, you lift these fingers here so that they hit the guitar. And as soon as they hit the guitar down, you do the golpe forward. That's the movement. That is one of the greatest secrets of the flamenco style. You will not find this on any other style. Not on Brazilian music, not on tango, not on classical music. Nowhere. Only flamenco. And this is one of the things that gives that magic. You know, you see these guys playing very percussively. And along with the guitar strokes, you have the percussion happening as well. And the secret is right here. Somebody asked about Picado. I'll get there. So now let's play. I'm going to use all these techniques together to give you a sort of a overall idea here. Here I did 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's another way you can do it. 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. Another thing you can do is, as you're getting used to this, you may change to the D flat chord and do this here. This is a common sort of a lick. It's much part of the language. Everybody does this. It's going like this. Master music, protection for your guitar is recommended when using golpe. Yes, it is. It is recommended using protection for the guitar for flamenco in general. But the golpe is actually just skin. I'm not touching the nails. And here's another hey, Adrian. Adrian is here with us. Hello, Adrian. Welcome. The golpe, the flamenco uses short nails, as opposed to classical guitarists sometimes use very long nails. Flamenco uses short nails, much like mine here. You can see they're not too long. And when you do the golpe, you're not hitting the nail on the guitar. You're just hitting your skin. Okay? Let's go for another technique here. I'm going to get to picado here in a second. But let's go for another technique, okay? A great technique for flamenco is the abanico. It's another kind of rasguel, but it uses your whole hand. Instead of this, or this, you're gonna have this. That's the abanico. This technique is very, very versatile. You can apply it to any style that you want. The Gypsy Kings were the ones that really made this very popular by doing stuff like this. Technique in the flamenco. And what is the abanico all about? I need to grab myself a towel real quick. All right, here we are. The idea is like this: 3 movements. Okay, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Starts with your thumb up. 1, 2. Open your hand. 3. Thumb down. So you got this. So good. My free stroke is much quicker and more consistent than my rest stroke. Do you have tips or exercise for training rest stroke? Absolutely. This is very relevant. I'm gonna get to the rest stroke, but I'll tell you this. I got one video online on the YouTube channel. It's probably the video that has had the most views in my channel. In just 1 year, I had about 120,000 views, and it's about picado. It's about 2 and 3 finger picado. So this video is about 25 minutes long, and it focuses only on that. So you can probably, I would suggest that you watch it. It's free. But I can also give some tips here. Let me just finish the abanico, and then I'll go into the rest, the rest strokes. Baila, 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 baila. So what's the technique here? Again, let's go back to the abanico. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. One of the first important tips for this technique is that it works by a twisting of your wrist, which is led by the thumb. Whenever the thumb goes up, the wrist twists up. When the thumb goes down, the wrist twists down. And whenever you have the hand opening right here, the third movement, or the second movement, 1, 2, 3, the twist, the wrist does not do anything. 1, twist up. 2, open your hand. 3, move down. So you have this cycle here. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. That's what you want to do. And notice here that I'm practicing putting the downbeat on the upward movement. But once you master that, the idea, it will be very good for you to also practice doing 16th notes. Then the accent is going to alternate the movement. Like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's very good for you to practice so you're ready to put the accent on anywhere. And you may also use this technique on other musical situations. It doesn't have to be just pure flamenco. You can apply this to anything that you want. I'll check the video. Sure. Thank you, Jason. Where are the Picado videos, please? It's on the YouTube channel. All you gotta do is just type in Felipe Coelho Picado. Or the name of the video that I'm specifically talking about is Secrets of Speed. Because I not only talk about the Picado technique in detail, but I suggest phrasing, meaning note choices and note groupings that favor you to play fluently. So that's definitely a great video that has had about 120,000 views in just about a year. So Armando Lopez, can you discuss how to file your thumbnail? At times when doing the Aosapua, my nail gets stuck and I trim it down. Okay, many questions. I like that. Thank you guys for asking so many questions. I do exactly this. I do the Aosapua, for example, which is another technique I'm about to get to. And if my nail is catching, I just file it. And you file it from this side here, which is where the string attacks. The path of the string is usually like this, right? So if it's catching, it's because it's too long. So you want to file it down. So then it works. All right. Thank you, Bob, for that comment. Okay. So let's keep going on. Now I would like to explain to you. Let's go ahead and do a little Picado, since there's so many questions here about the Picado exercises. Basically, guys, the Picado, like I said, there's a video called The Secrets of Speed on my YouTube channel, but I'll be happy to give you some insight right now. The Picado technique is the same as the rest stroke technique, as opposed to the free stroke. The rest stroke means you're always resting on the string above after you play, as opposed to the free stroke, which goes like this. Free stroke, rest stroke. I believe rest stroke can give you more punch, more projection, more volume, and more speed, as opposed to the free stroke, which is probably sweeter, a sweeter sound. If you're looking for tone quality, then the free stroke might give you a sweeter sound. But if you're looking for velocity and attack and projection, I would say the rest stroke is the best idea. Adrian, this guy is pure gold. I had a private set. Oh, okay. You're talking about me. I thought you were talking to me. All right. All right, yeah, Adrian was one of my private students, and I'll go ahead and remind you guys that anybody who would like to work privately, I'm definitely open. And I actually need to be working right now because COVID has hit Brazil very hard at this moment, and I just lost a lot of work that was being scheduled, and things are difficult here. All right, so open lessons are available, private lessons are available. Here is the Picado technique. You try to raise your arm a little bit because finger 1 is shorter than finger 2 in everybody. So in order to compensate for that, if you have your hand straight like this, then its middle finger is going to have an advantage. So you have to sort of look for a sweet spot, and you have to search on your own body here. Search for a sweet spot where you feel like they are in equilibrium. Equilibrium in attack, in sound, and everything. So you go. Start playing a scale slowly. Okay. Any exercise counts. There's nothing specific that's better than, the best exercise is just to do it for the rest of your life. Just keep playing, keep using the technique, and your body will start adapting to it. Just be very attentive, very sensitive to how you're playing, to how it feels, you know, and fix. You move your hand around like a curious child is how you should approach this, looking for the best way to find the best result. So here is a very common exercise that I like to do. Yeah, so anything is good. And then there's the three-finger picado. Luiz, salve do Paraná. Salve, meu amigo. Armando Lopes. I do daily routines of 16th note passages with metronome, starting at slow tempo and fast. I'm currently at 170 BPM, but I can't seem to increase or get, okay, cleaner. Okay, some of the secrets of getting fast with this, I didn't really prepare myself for this subject. I was thinking about talking about more of the palos and the rhythms. But let's go into this for a little bit. The secret is economy movement, or movement economy. It's good to use a mirror for this. You need to first play as slow as possible in order to control your movement and not do any extra movement. What I've seen very often in people trying to do this and trying to play fast and not being able to, sounding kind of dirty or off, is when the movement looks like this. This is bad technique. Very bad technique. If you program your brain to doing this, it's going to be a mess, because whenever you speed up, your fingers think that they need to move all the way up like that, and that costs you time and energy and strength. So what you need to do is program your brain, and how do you do that? Is playing so slow, like there's no tempo, and control your movement so that there's almost no extra movement. Like this. So the idea is to move very slowly. And one of the greatest exercises that I could show you guys right now to do this movement control and brain programming is called planting. Planting is a classical guitar term, and it means this. Whenever you're playing on a string, as soon as you play one note, you immediately mute that note with the other finger. And what is that going to do for you? Like this. See, as soon as I play a note, I'm muting with the other finger. This kind of exercise programs you to do a preparation. As soon as you play a note with one finger, you play this note, and this other finger here needs to be ready to attack that note again. And then as soon as you play this note, this other finger needs to be programmed to be doing a simultaneous movement of preparing for the next note. Like a person walking, you know? So, when you plant, it requires that. It requires that as soon as you play a note, the other finger prepares to play the next note, and so on. So it's a physical preparation. It's a physical programming, okay, that you do. That is because there's no time to think. Whenever you're going to play fast, there's no time to think. It needs to be pre-programmed. That's a very valuable concept. So you need to program your brain by playing very slowly and making sure you're doing it right. Okay? Now let's talk about the three-finger picado. It's the same process, but AMI and rest stroke as well. So the three-finger picado is again. A little dirty today. A little dirty. Sorry about that, guys. I should have filed my nail and warmed up for this. Kind of turned it into a picado lesson. The three-finger picado is a great tool for playing fast and for playing fluently. And all it is simply AMI, always rest stroking, okay? Let me get my nail here, nice. Okay, so here it is, AMI. Okay? Now there's there's two concepts of the three-finger stroke, two different ways, two different schools actually. And there's some discussion on which one is the best one. And I do have my own answer for that. Basically, the two different schools are the one that alternates versus the one that sweeps. So I'm going to show you an example. Here's that same exercise that I did with 2 fingers. Okay, I'm going to do a 3-finger. First, alternating. So alternating. Alternating is you're never going to repeat the stroke. You're always going to be alternating, obviously. So, yes, master music. I'm going to do the Aosapua next, okay? I'm just showing the 2 different schools here of the 3-finger picado. And then alternating is very good, but you have to program 3 new movements into your brain, okay? The 3 new movements are these. Whenever you leave one string with finger 1, the last stroke is finger 1, and then the next stroke is going to be on the next string, finger 3, finger A. Okay, so that's one of the situations, is doing this. I, and then change the string with A. The next situation you need to program is leaving the last note of one string with M, and then going to I, like this. See? And the third situation is whenever you leave the last string with A, and you move to M, like this. These 3 things will happen, and you need to be ready for either of them, all of them. I admit to you that this is something that I've been working for about 1.5 years, so I don't have it totally mastered, but I am better off. I have more ease with the other school of 3-finger picado, which is the one that sweeps. So the one that sweeps goes like this. See? Repeat the stroke. I feel more at home with that one. So basically what it is, for those of you who do not know what sweep means, it is this. As soon as you leave, as you play the last note of a string, you repeat the same finger by moving it up. That's sweeping, right there. And you should be able to do it with whichever finger. Here, or the middle finger, or A finger, A-M-I. And my answer for that, for the discussion of which one is best, I believe that the sweeping, it depends on the kind of line that you're playing, okay? If you're playing just a straight linear line, when I say linear, I mean that each note is next to the other. There's no note that skips, that jumps, like no arpeggio. A linear line is when you're doing notes step by step. This is a linear line. So that's better for the alternating picado. And then whenever you do a line that has more arpeggios, then you go for the sweeping technique, such as, okay, so what I did here, see, I got 4 notes here for the price of 1. And then when this happens, if you're doing alternate picado, you're screwed. It's very hard to alternate fingers as you're doing this, or like this, right? Here I'm sweeping. It's much easier than not sweeping. If you're alternating, then you're going to be in trouble. All right. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, giving you a call, guys, for release here on April 16th. I'm going to be teaching a master class. It's going to be longer than an hour, so longer than this flamenco here, on world music. Okay, on the world music style. So including flamenco, but more about the rhythms, the culture, the palos, which is what they call, as well as salsa and Brazilian music. So you guys feel free to register for that. It's totally free. Okay. All you gotta do is just write up your email, and then you will receive an email with the information about the day, time, and the link. Okay? Also, I do have another announcement to make, is that the hybrid technique I have a series of 4 volumes in hybrid technique, which has been released through the site Hybrid Guitar Technique. Bob, are you there? I'm not sure if Bob is a friend of mine who has helped me put that together, but I believe he's not here. But you guys can go to hybridguitartechnique.com. Is legato used at all in flamenco? Yes, legato is used also, for sure. Yeah. Here is a falsetta that probably has some legatos in it. See, that's a legato. That's another legato, right? So yeah, you do have legato in flamenco. A topic that doesn't get discussed a lot in flamenco guitar ornamentation, adapted from the oud. Vicente Amigo incorporates a lot of this, almost like hammer-ons. Familiar with this? Yes, and I dig it, such as right. So basically it's just a legato that is done in thirds usually. It's very, it's very oriental, I would say. But there's no secret. All you gotta do is just do these thirds and do these hammer-ons and legatos. Okay. I still owe the guy here the answer about Aosapua. So let's take a look into the Aosapua. The Aosapua is one of the coolest ones. The Aosapua basically consists in doing this. What it is downstroke thumb, usually followed by a golpe, like that. So you got this. And then as soon as you do this, you do a downstroke with what they call pick slanting. You lean down on the next string, much like the rest stroke, but the opposite way, right? So you got this, and then as soon as you hit that, you're going to play down and up, like that. This is the beginning, the basics of Aosapua, okay? You can do it anywhere, D major chord. And then you incorporate a fourth stroke by doing a legato, either pull off or hammer on, like this. Okay, so this works very good in fandango, for example. The phrase I was going to do, sorry guys, but this is a lick right here from the Phrygian, from the Lydian to the Phrygian. You can go up. So the Aosapua is very useful, very useful. I wanted to have remember that phrase. Here it is. So yeah, that's a way to use the Aosapua in a very musical way. All right. Yeah, guys, we got about 10 minutes left. It's been kind of quick today, so I'd like to open up for more questions. Okay. Anything else here? All right, well, I'm going to have a little fun here with a rumba. I didn't explain the rumba. That was the most important one. If deserted in an island for a month, with only flamenco album, which would be? Wow. Fuente y Caudal by Paco. Probably would be that. Talk about the World Guitar Masterclass. All right, guys. Again, just remembering you guys, on the 16th of April, there will be the World Guitar Masterclass, which you can sign up in the link above that was just sent here to you guys. And it's totally free, and I'm going to, it's going to last about 2 hours, I would say. And I'm going to give an overlook into many of these traditions, like the Latin salsa, the Latin guitar rhythms of chamamé, salsa, Brazilian music, of course, the basics of samba and baião. And then, of course, flamenco is going to be a part of this. And I'm probably going to focus on fandango, sevillanas, bulerias, and the rumba. I did not talk about the rumba. Julian Alonso, is there a typical flamenco cadence? Yes, there is a typical flamenco cadence. It's called the hondo cadence or flamenco cadence, which starts on a minor chord, and you go, call this 1. So you go 1, 7, 6, 5. So it goes like this. What's happening here is harmonically Aeolian, Mixolydian, Lydian, and Phrygian dominant. That's the flamenco cadence. 1, 7, 6, 5. But really, in the way they see it, this guy is 1. This is 2, 3, and 4. So in the mind of the flamenco player, he's thinking 4, 3, 2, 1. And that's a difference in harmony perspective from the Western world to the flamenco world. I believe flamenco is like a bridge to the Oriental music. It's like a style that bridges both sides of the world. So there's some effect to that, which means the harmony is not seen the same way. It did not inherit, like all the other styles of Western music, it did not inherit the harmony of the 18th century classical composers, which is what is the background of jazz music and Brazilian music and all the music of the Americas. The flamenco harmony has been taken from the Oriental part of the world, and that's probably the reason why they always cadence down to this chord. So it's different than our Western harmony. Flamenco progression, yeah, that's it. Jason, do you use picado technique in a samba or jazz context? I'm always playing single lines with free stroke, but picado sounds much more powerful. Yes, I use both of them. I have 3 videos on my YouTube channel, which are jazz trio gigs, just open gigs that I'm playing with drum and bass that I do every Saturday until last month that it got closed because of COVID. It's jazz live sessions, basically. And you can see the way that I play. Sometimes I play it free stroke, and sometimes I use both. And depending on how I want to project the sound, what the dynamic I want to apply. So sometimes I'll play something softly, and sometimes I punch it out. So yeah, feel free to check that out. Just go to the YouTube channel and type in something like Felipe Coelho jazz. You probably or live jazz is the one that you're going to. It's a live recording. It's not something studio recorded. Upon observing Paco's videos, you see him barring a lot and playing wicked fast stuff. It's interesting because this stuff never discussed in books or videos. Barring, you mean like toque seco, which is like this? I'm not sure if that's what you mean, but yeah, well, what he does, there's no secret there. He just does it fast sometimes, but it's the same stuff that I'm explaining here to you guys. Is the same ideas. See, how do you get such a flamenco tone from the guitar besides touch, special strings, anything else? Actually, man, this is not even a flamenco guitar. This is a classical guitar. I actually donated my flamenco guitar to a friend, and I ended up without a guy who was a fan of mine and really, really wanted the flamenco guitar, so I gave him mine. So I'm using a Brazilian classical guitar. About the tone, I think it has a little bit to do with your nails. I'm using acrylics on my nails. Acrylic is a substance, is a liquid in a powder. You put it on a paint, on a brush, and then you drop here, you wet it on the brush and then put it on the powder and it becomes a gel. And you put it on your nail and it hardens, it becomes like a rock, you know, and that way, not only it does not wear out, but it also projects a lot more. So for those of you who don't have extra strong nails naturally, the acrylic is a very important thing. Another thing is playing a little closer to the bridge here in between the mouth and the bridge. For those of you guys who play here too much, you're not gonna get a flamenco tone from here. You need to play a little bit more here, where it's a little more metallic. I had Master Music, what's the price for private lessons? I charge $40. I used to charge $50 for private lessons, but I actually cut off 20% because I would like to welcome more students. I was working with 4 guys, one from Germany, one from California, from LA, one from Alabama. And then one of them just stopped because of financial difficulties, probably due to COVID. So I decided to lower the rates to $40 in order to welcome more people. So any of you guys would like to learn privately and so I can attend to your personal needs, musical needs, please contact me or just write me a message on Facebook. But I'll be glad to help you out. Master Music. What is your name, by the way? Is it Master? Okay, Thomas Dank. I think Armando means barring and playing a scale at the same time. Oh, okay. All right. So yes, this is a good thing to do. Like this. It's in this tune here from Paco. Right. So you have this. It's a technique that you just bar it because then it saves you the trouble of having to move finger 1, and it also, very important, it mutes the strings from ringing. If you're doing this, first you get the root ringing while you're doing the scale. Okay, so it's very good to use this. I used to give one of my students this exercise of playing the whole Hondo cadence, the whole flamenco cadence, by barring it, saying A minor, like this, all the scales. You got the Aeolian first, and then the Mixolydian, and then the Lydian, and then here I don't have to bar it because... So this is very good to bar and try to practice your scale like that. I hope that answered the question. Yes, that's what I meant. Thanks, Thomas. All right, Armando, did I just answer your question? I hope so. Okay. All right, guys. Emerson, if you're online, post that link again so that they have access to it because it went way up. We're getting close to the end here, guys. I'd like to attend to just a few more questions. Again, be invited to work with me privately if any of you guys would like. Definitely, I would appreciate that as I need to be working because things are very difficult in Brazil right now. Like I said, I just lost all my gigs. I had about 8 or 9 gigs booked in March and they all got canceled, which was a disaster for me. Great disaster. Bob, we got Bob online. Post the link, Bob, please, for the hybrid technique. iMusic Academy is a good friend of mine from music school back in the USA, where I graduated from a jazz studies degree, and we have been working together on a 4-volume series called the hybrid technique, where not only I talk about picado, 2 and 3 finger, but also the thumb technique. It's a great way using the thumb, alternating like a pick and doing the pick slanting thing. So the hybrid technique is, you guys can check it out at hybridguitartechnique.com. Let's see here. Definitely interested in lessons. All right, Jason, hit me up, man. I'm gonna write you guys my email here, okay? My email, Coelho Experiment @gmail. Okay, guys, this is my email, and it's also my PayPal for any of you who would like to send some financial support. But Jason, write me up, and we'll schedule a lesson, okay? Thomas just said some rumba to say goodbye. All right, guys, we're approaching the end of the lesson. Let's do a little rumba here. How about? How about? Quite expecting that, but just sorry about the mistakes there, guys. So just so you know, I added the volume 1, 2, 3, 4. So right now at iMusic Academy, you can get the bundle and the Brazilian course for free.